Ji-hoon wiped sweat from his forehead and looked around the repair bay. The orbital station floated quietly around a big orange gas giant. Stars shone through the thick windows, but most of the light came from flickering work lamps and welding sparks. The place smelled of hot metal, old oil, and burnt circuits. This was his home for the last 5 years, a forgotten corner of space where ships came to get fixed and people came to hide. He was alone most days. That suited him fine. Ji-hoon liked machines more than people. Machines did not lie or leave. They just broke, and he put them back together. His hands were rough from years of work, but steady. Today, he repaired a small cargo drone that had crashed into an asteroid. Simple job. He liked simple jobs. As he bent down to pick up a dropped wrench, something moved in the pile of scrap near the wall. At first he thought it was a rat droid. Those little cleaning bots sometimes got stuck. But no, this was different. A small shape stepped out slowly. It was a cat-like creature, no bigger than a loaf of bread. Soft gray fur with faint stripes. Big ears turned toward every sound. Its eyes were cloudy white, like fogged glass. Blind. The creature sniffed the air and took one careful step, then another. Its tail dragged a little on the dirty floor. Ji-hoon froze. He had seen Lyran strays before, cat people from the inner systems, but never one so small and hurt. This one looked young, maybe abandoned after an accident. "Hey," Ji-hoon said softly. He did not move fast. The creature stopped and tilted its head. Its ears flicked toward his voice. He crouched down low. "You lost, little one?" No answer, of course. Just a quiet mew, so small it almost got lost in the hum of the station vents. Ji-hoon reached into his pocket and pulled out a piece of dried fish he kept for lunch. He broke off a tiny bit and placed it on the floor between them. The creature sniffed, then crept forward. It ate quickly, tail twitching. "Good," Ji-hoon whispered. He stayed still until the creature finished. Then it surprised him. It walked right up to his boot and rubbed its head against the metal toe. A low purr started in its chest. Ji-hoon smiled for the first time that day. "All right, you can stay for now." He named her Nari. It was a simple name, like the wind on old Earth videos he sometimes watched. Nari followed him back to a small living quarters at the end of the bay. The room was messy, tools on the table, wires hanging from the ceiling, a narrow bed, and one chair. Nari explored slowly, bumping into legs of the table and chairs. She learned fast, by touch and sound. That night Ji-hoon could not sleep. Nari curled up on the floor next to his bed, purring softly. Every few minutes, she lifted her head, listening. Ji-hoon thought about her eyes. Blind forever? But maybe not. The next morning, Min-seo came by. She was the station's vet and part-time tech helper. Tall, with short black hair and quick hands. She brought coffee and news from incoming ships. "Still fixing junk?" she asked, stepping inside. "Always," Ji-hoon said. Then he pointed to Nari, who was sitting on the workbench, sniffing a screwdriver. Min-seo's eyes went wide. "A Lyran kit? Here? Where did you find her?" "In the scrap pile. Blind. Abandoned, I think." Min-seo knelt down. Nari turned toward her steps and mewed. Min-seo held out her hand. Nari sniffed it, then let her touch her head. "Poor thing," Min-seo said. "Lyrans hate blindness. Their culture sees it as a big weakness. They probably left her behind after some mining accident. Her optic nerves look damaged, badly." Ji-hoon nodded. "Can we help?" Min-seo used her portable scanner. Blue light ran over Nari's head. The screen showed red warning lines. Her eyes are gone. No repair with normal medicine. Their biotech can't fix this kind. Too deep in the brain connections. Ji-hoon stared at the screen. "What if you don't use their way? What if we use ours?" Min-seo raised an eyebrow. "Human way? You mean hack something together?" Ji-hoon shrugged. I fix ships with parts from 10 different races. Why not eyes? Minso laughed, but not mean. You're crazy, but okay, I'll help scan her more. You build. They started that day. Ji-hoon cleared space on his biggest workbench. He pulled out old boxes, neural wires from wrecked fighters, tiny screens from broken hologlasses, sonic sensors from mining tools, and nanite gel he saved from a medical drone crash. Minso brought medical data on Lyran brains. They worked side by side. Nari stayed close. She sat on a soft rag Ji-hoon put down for her. Sometimes she batted at loose wires with her paws, playing like any kitten. Ji-hoon talked to her the whole time. This part goes here, Nari. See? No. Feel the shape. He let her nose touch the pieces. She purred louder when he did that. Days passed. Ji-hoon barely slept. He drank coffee and energy packs. Minso brought food and made him eat. The visor took shape slowly. It looked simple. A light headband with 2 small pads over the eyes, thin wires behind the ears, and a tiny box at the back. Inside were layers of tech, sonic waves to map the world like bat ears, light converters to turn sounds into pictures for the brain, nanites to bridge broken nerves. One night Ji-hoon tested the first part. He put the pads on Nari's head gently. She shook at first, then sat still. He turned it on low. A soft hum started. Nari's ears shot up. She turned her head left, right. Her tail flicked fast. She hears something new, Minso said, watching the scanner. The sonic map is feeding her brain shapes. Not real sight yet, but awareness. Ji-hoon smiled. Good girl. He kept working. More tests, more fixes. Nari got used to the weight on her head. She walked better, avoided bumping things. Finally, after 8 long days, it was ready. The healing visor. Ji-hoon held it up. It was not pretty. Scratched metal, taped wires, but it worked in tests on dummy heads. Time, he said. Minso stood next to him. They both felt nervous. Ji-hoon knelt. Nari, this might feel strange, but trust me, okay? Nari mewed and rubbed his hand. He placed the visor carefully, adjusted the straps, pressed the small button on the side. A gentle blue glow lit up the pads. Nari froze. Her body went stiff. Then she blinked, really blinked. The cloudy white eyes stayed, but something changed. She looked around slowly. She saw the workbench, the tools, the lights, Ji-hoon. Her ears went forward. Her mouth opened a little. Then she jumped down from the bench. She ran across the floor. She leaped onto a crate, turned, leaped back. She chased her own tail for a second, then stopped in front of Ji-hoon. She stared right at him, those foggy eyes somehow focused. Nari stepped close and pressed her head hard against his leg. The purr was so loud it vibrated the floor. She rubbed again and again, tail high. Ji-hoon felt something hot in his eyes. He laughed and picked her up gently. You see me, don't you? Minso wiped her face. It worked. You crazy human, it really worked. Nari nuzzled Ji-hoon's chin. For the first time since he found her, she looked happy, truly happy. Ji-hoon held her close. Welcome back, Nari. Outside the station, the gas giant turned slowly. Stars watched in silence. No one knew yet that this small act, one mechanic fixing one blind stray, would soon bring 4 giant cruisers from the deep black. But for now, in the quiet repair bay, there was only the sound of purring and soft human laughter. Minso held the small camera steady. The light in Ji-hoon's workshop was bright from the overhead lamps. Nari sat on the workbench, her new visor glowing softly blue. She looked around with wide eyes, eyes that now saw. Ready? Minso asked. Ji-hoon nodded. He picked up a small red ball made of soft rubber. He had found it in a junk box weeks ago, perfect for this. He rolled it slowly across the bench. Nari's head snapped toward the movement. Her ears flicked. Then she pounced. Her paws hit the ball perfectly. It bounced away. She chased it, tail high, leaping from one end of the bench to the other. She caught it, batted it back, caught it again. Minso laughed. Look at her go. Ji-hoon smiled big. He had not smiled this much in years. Nari stopped chasing and ran to him. She jumped into his arms, purring loud. Her small head pushed against his chin. She looked right at his face. She knows it's you, Minso said softly. Sight. Ji-hoon scratched behind Nari's ears. Yeah, they filmed more. Minso used her old holo recorder. She captured Nari jumping over tools, climbing a stack of crates, even chasing a small laser dot Ji-hoon made with a pointer tool. Nari's movements were quick and sure. No more bumping, no more caution. She explored like she owned the place. After an hour, they sat down. Minso played back the clips. The footage was clear. You could see the joy in Nari's body. Her tail waved like a flag. Her eyes, cloudy but alive, followed everything. This is amazing, Minso said. People need to see this. Ji-hoon rubbed his neck. I don't know. It's just a fix for one cat. One Lyran, Minso corrected. And it's more than a fix. It's a miracle to them. Their tech couldn't do this for her kind of injury. Ji-hoon looked at Nari. She slept now on his lap, visor still on, purring in her dreams. Maybe. But I don't want attention. Minso leaned forward. Think bigger. Other blind Lyrans, other animals. Humans have always improvised. Maybe this helps someone else. Ji-hoon thought for a long time. Then he nodded once. Okay, but no names, no location, just the footage. They edited the clip together that night. 10 minutes long. Simple text at the start. Blind Lyran stray regains sight with improvised human visor. No music, just natural sounds. Nari's purrs, her paws on metal, Ji-hoon's quiet voice saying, "Good girl." Minso uploaded it to a fringe forum called Spacer Mednet. It was a place where doctors, vets, and tinkerers from all species shared ideas. Mostly humans, some Xenos. Low traffic, but the right people saw things. They went to sleep. Nari curled between them on the couch. The next morning, nothing happened. Ji-hoon went back to fixing a thruster coil. Minso checked incoming ships. Normal day. But far away, things started to move. In a Lyran relay station, high above a blue star, a young analyst named Kira took her break. She liked to scroll human tech posts on Spacer Mednet. They were rough but smart. Then she saw the thumbnail, a small gray Lyran kit, jumping with joy. Kira clicked play. She watched the whole thing. Then she played it again. Her tail stopped moving. Her ears went flat against her head. No way, she whispered. She ran filters on the video. The visor showed up clear. Human parts, messy wires, but it worked. The kit chased things, looked at the human, purred right at him. Kira checked old files fast. Missing scout, Nari, injured in a mine collapse 3 cycles back, eyes destroyed, left behind to avoid enemy capture, listed as gone forever. But here she was, alive, seeing. Kira's hands shook as she sent the clip up the chain. She marked it urgent. Recovered lost one. Sight restored by human device. Impossible. It moved fast. In hours it reached a science officer. Then higher up. By night, it landed with Matriarch Sura's top advisor. The advisor watched in silence, then spoke one word. Matriarch. In the big command room of the flagship Claw of Dawn, Sura sat on her high seat. Her fur was silver now, but her eyes still sharp gold. She watched the footage. No one spoke. Again, she said. They played it again. Sura's tail moved once, slow. Our best minds said no hope. Neural damage too deep. Yet this human, this mechanic, used junk and made it work. The advisor bowed. The design is strange to us. Sonic maps, nanite bridges, direct feed to brain. We avoided such mixes. Too messy. But it fits her injury perfectly. Sura stood up. Her robes whispered. Where? Human outer rim, tiny repair station, no defenses worth noting. Send quiet scouts first. But Sura already knew. She felt it in her bones. This was Nari. And this human had done what an empire could not. Word flew through the fleet. 4 cruisers patrolled nearby, big ships with claw hulls and strong guns. New orders came in code. Change course, silent run, approach the station, no signals until shore. Back on the station, life went on. Ji-hoon fed Nari bits of fish. She ate fast, then played with a loose bolt, batting it across the floor. Min-seo cleaned her scanner. Ji-hoon checked the forum late one night. Views now over 5,000. Comments grew. Real? Teach me how. Humanity strikes again. One post in clean Lyran text. We wish to speak with the maker. Important. Ji-hoon showed Min-seo. They found it. She bit her lip. Think they'll come? Ji-hoon shrugged. If they do, we'll see. Nari jumped to his shoulder. She rubbed her face on his cheek. Happy. 2 more days passed. The clip hit 10,000 views. Someone shared it wider. Spacer chat groups, Xenoboards. It spread like quiet fire. Then, on the morning of the 5th day, alarms screamed through the station. Proximity alert. 4 large ships. No hail, just appeared on sensors. Ji-hoon dropped his wrench. He ran to the main viewport. Min-seo right behind. Nari in his arms. She had followed him. Outside, space lit up with them. 4 cruisers. Huge, sleek. Purple and silver hulls, shaped like curved claws. They hung there, blocking stars. Min-seo whispered, Lyran warships. Ji-hoon felt his heart hit hard. They came. One ship sent a small shuttle. It flew straight to their dock, locked on with a soft thump. Ji-hoon took a breath. Stay calm. He walked to the airlock. Nari stayed with him. Min-seo came too, holding a med kit like a shield. The door hissed open. Tall Lyran stepped in. Fur soft, eyes bright. Robes long and flowing. No weapons visible, but they moved like fighters. The leader was older. Silver fur, golden eyes. She looked first at Nari, then at Ji-hoon. Her voice came low and warm. We have come far for our lost child, and to honor the one who brought light back to her eyes. Nari purred, loud. She did not hide. She leaned forward in Ji-hoon's arms. Ji-hoon met the elder's gaze. She's safe here. The elder bowed her head a little. We see that, and we are grateful. Behind her, the others watched in silence, their tails still, their eyes on the small visor glowing blue. The airlock door closed behind the Lyrans, with a soft hiss. The station felt smaller now, like the walls had moved in. Ji-hoon stood in the middle of the repair bay, Nari still in his arms. Her small body was warm and calm. She looked straight at the tall, silver-furred elder without fear. Her purr never stopped. The elder stepped forward one slow step. Her name was Sura. Everyone knew it now. She had said it when she entered. Her golden eyes stayed on Nari for a long moment. Then they moved to Ji-hoon. You are the maker, Sura said. Her voice was deep and smooth, like water over stones. Ji-hoon nodded once. I'm Ji-hoon. This is Nari. Sura's tail moved gently behind her. We have searched for her through 3 systems and 5 cycles. We thought her lost to the dark. Yet here she stands, with light in her gaze again. Min-seo stood a little behind Ji-hoon. Her hands were tight on the medkit. She spoke quietly. She was in bad shape when he found her, blind and alone in the scrap. Sura turned her head toward Min-seo. And you helped him? I scanned her, gave data, but the work, that was all him. Sora looked back at Jihoon. Will you allow us to see her closer? Jihoon looked down at Nari. She did not hide her face. Instead, she leaned out towards Sora, whiskers forward. Jihoon lowered his arms slowly. Nari jumped down to the floor. She walked straight to Sora and rubbed her head against the elder's leg. The purr grew louder. Sora knelt. Her long fingers touched Nari's fur very gently. She traced the edge of the visor. This small thing, she said. This is what returned her sight? Jihoon nodded. It maps sound to shapes, sends signals straight to her brain. Nanites help the broken parts connect again. One of the other Lyrans, a younger one with darker stripes, stepped closer. He carried a slim scanner. He looked at Sora for permission. She nodded. The young one knelt beside Nari. The scanner hummed softly. Blue light ran over the visor and Nari's head. Numbers and lines appeared on his small screen. His ears flicked in surprise. Matriarch, he said. The design, it ignores half our rules. No clean bio interface. No sealed neural weave. Just layers. Sound, light, force, all mixed. Yet the brain accepts it. The damage is bridged. Sura stood up again. Show me. The young one turned the screen toward her. She studied it for a long time. Her tail stopped moving. Our healers tried everything, she said at last. We rebuilt nerves. We grew new eyes. Nothing held for her injury. The pathways were too torn. We called it permanent. Jihoon shrugged a little. I didn't know what was permanent. I just tried. Sura looked at him again. This time her eyes were different. Not sharp. Softer. You tried when we stopped, she said. That is the difference. The Lyrans moved into the workshop. They did not touch anything without asking. Jihoon showed them the workbench where he built the visor. Wires still lay in piles. Tools sat where he left them. He explained each part simply. This sensor listens like bat ears, maps the room in echoes. This pad turns echoes into pictures for her brain. These nanites glue the broken wires inside her head. Nothing fancy, just what I had. The younger Lyran took notes fast. Another one recorded with a small device. Sura listened to every word. When Jihoon finished, silence fell. Nari had climbed back onto the bench. She sat between Jihoon and Sura, looking from one to the other. Sura spoke. We came with fear at first. Fear that a human had taken one of ours. Fear that this was a trick or a trap. But we see truth now. You saved her. Not for reward, not for power. Just because she needed help. Anyone would. No, Sura said. Not anyone. Many would walk past. Many would sell her. You fed her, named her, built for her. Min Seo spoke up. He's always like that. Fixes broken things. People, animals, machines. Doesn't matter. Sura's gaze moved around the small bay. Old parts, dirty walls, one flickering light. This place is humble, yet great work happened here. Jihoon felt strange under all those eyes. What now? He asked. Sura thought for a moment. We would like to take Nari home, to heal her fully if we can, to give her family, but we will not take without her choice. She knelt again. Nari, child of our people, do you wish to come with us? Nari looked at Sura. Then she turned her head to Jihoon. She stepped close to him, pressed her body against his leg, looked up at his face, her tail wrapped around his ankle. Sura watched. A small smile touched her mouth. I see. Jihoon picked Nari up. She can decide later. For now, she stays with me. Sura stood. Then she stays. But know this. We owe you a debt. A life debt. Our people do not forget such things. The younger Lyran spoke. Matriarch, the visor schematics. We could study them, improve them, share them. Sora nodded. Yes, but first, respect. She turned to Jihoon. Will you allow us to copy your work? Not to take, to learn, and to help others like her. Jihoon thought. Then he said, yes, if it helps. Sora bowed her head low. All the Lyrans did the same. Deep, slow. Thank you, Jihoon, Sora said. And thank you, Nari, for trusting a stranger who became family. Nari purred louder. The Lyrans did not leave right away. They asked more questions, about how Jihoon thought of the idea, about human tools, about why he lived alone out here. Jihoon answered simply. No big words, just truth. Minso brought tea. Weak station tea, but hot. The Lyrans drank it politely. They even smiled when Nari stole a sip from Jihoon's cup. Hours passed. The big cruiser still waited outside. No threats, just quiet guards. At last, Sora stood. We will return to our ships, but we will speak again soon. There is much to discuss. Alliance, knowledge, protection. Jihoon nodded. Okay. Sora looked at Nari one more time. Grow strong, little one, and know your people are near if you ever call. Nari mewed softly. The Lyrans walked back to the airlock. Sora stopped at the door. She turned. One more thing, she said. 4 cruisers came because one small life mattered. Remember that. Your people may think small things do not count. We know better now. The door closed. Jihoon let out a long breath. Minso sank into a chair. That was a lot, she said. Jihoon looked at Nari. She rubbed her face on his hand. Happy. But she's still here. Outside, the cruisers turned slowly. Not leaving yet, just waiting. The station lights flickered on, as normal. But everything felt different now. Something big had started. All because one mechanic refused to let a blind cat stay in the dark. The next morning, the station felt different. The big cruisers still hung outside like silent giants. Their hulls caught the light from the gas giant and threw soft purple shadows through the viewports. No one on the station ran anymore. Most people stayed inside their rooms or watched from windows. Word had spread fast. Lyrans had come, and they were not angry. Jihoon woke early. Nari slept on his chest, her small breath steady. The visor glowed a faint blue, even when off. He lifted her gently and set her on the pillow. She opened her eyes, looked at him, and purred. Good morning, he said quietly. He made simple breakfast, rice and dried fish for Nari, instant noodles for himself. Minso knocked and came in with fresh coffee. They're sending a team again, she said. Sora wants to talk more. About the visor. Jihoon nodded. Let them come. An hour later the same shuttle docked. Sora stepped out first, followed by 4 others. 2 carried cases, long and silver. The others had scanners and small tools. They moved with calm steps. Sora bowed slightly when she saw Jihoon. We return with respect. May we enter your workshop? Of course, Jihoon said. They filled the small space. Nari jumped down from the bench and walked to Sora. She rubbed against the elder's legs like she knew her. Sora smiled and knelt to stroke her fur. We have studied your design through the night, Sora said. Our minds are still turning. The younger Lyran with dark stripes opened one case. Inside lay tools Jihoon had never seen, thin silver probes, glowing pads, a small hollow screen that floated without wires. We wish to examine the visor while it is on her, the young one said. With your permission, we will not remove it. Jihoon looked at Nari. She sat still, calm. Okay, but be gentle. They worked carefully. One Lyran held a scanner close to Nari's head. Another used a probe to touch the wires without pulling. The hollow screen showed colors. Blue lines for sound paths, green for brain signals, red where old damage sat. Jihoon watched their faces. Their ears moved with interest. Tails flicked slowly. After many minutes, the young one spoke. It is more clever than we thought. The sonic map does not try to copy eyes. It builds a new way. The brain learns it fast because it uses old paths, ones we did not think to use. Sura nodded. We build clean, perfect. One material, one method. Humans, you mix. You force things together until they work. Messy, but alive. Ji-hoon shrugged. I had what was in the scrap pile. No choice. That is why it worked, Sura said. No choice means you think harder. They finished the scan. Nari yawned and stretched. Then she jumped to Ji-hoon's lap like nothing happened. Sura stood straight. We offer you gifts now. Not to buy, to thank. She opened the second case. Inside were small boxes, black with silver edges. First, she said, knowledge. Full scans of our neural tech. Ways to grow new nerves. Ways to link brains to machines. You may use them, share them, keep them. No price. Ji-hoon looked surprised. That's big. Second, Sura continued. Wealth. Credits. Enough for many lives. Or rare metals. Or ships. Name what you want. Ji-hoon shook his head. I don't need that. Sura's eyes softened. We thought you might say no. Third, then. Safety. Our ships will guard this sector. Raiders will not come near. Pirates will learn to fear our name here. Your station, your people, protected. Minso whispered, That's huge. Ji-hoon still looked at the floor. I just fixed a cat. Sura stepped closer. You fixed more than that. You showed us something we forgot. Compassion without rules. Help without gain. We have grown old in our ways. You reminded us what strength looks like. Nari mewed and pushed her head under Ji-hoon's hand. He scratched her ears. Sura spoke again. And one last thing. We will take your visor design. Not steal. We ask to improve it. Add our clean lines to your rough strength. Make better versions. For our blind. For yours. For any who need. Ji-hoon thought. Then he said, Yes, do it. Help others. Sura bowed deep. Thank you. The Lyrans worked fast now. They connected their tools to Ji-hoon's bench. They copied every wire, every chip. They tested signals. They even asked Ji-hoon questions. Why this wire here? Why that size? Why no shield on the nanites? Ji-hoon answered simply. It felt right. Hours went by. Nari played around their feet. Sometimes she sat on a Lyran tail and batted at it. They laughed. Soft, surprised laughs. At last, the work stopped. The young one spoke. We have it. The new design. Stronger, safer, faster to learn. We will send it to every healer in our worlds. Sura added, and to human networks too. With your name if you allow. Ji-hoon paused. No name. Just say a human made it. That's enough. Sura smiled. As you wish. They packed their cases. Before they left, Sura knelt one more time in front of Nari. Little one, she said. You carry our hope now. Stay with your maker as long as you want, but know the stars wait for you too. Nari purred and touched noses with Sura. A small, gentle press. Sura stood. We will send a beacon, a relay. It will link us always. Call if you need. We will come. Ji-hoon nodded. Thank you. The Lyrans left. The shuttle pulled away. The cruisers turned slowly. One by one they jumped to light, gone in flashes of purple. The station went quiet again. Min Seo sat down hard. They gave us protection, knowledge, everything. Ji-hoon looked at Nari. She chased a loose screw across the floor. Happy. Free. They didn't give me anything I asked for, he said. They gave what they thought mattered. Min Seo smiled, and Nari chose you. Ji-hoon picked Nari up. She nuzzled his neck. Outside, a small beacon appeared on sensors. Steady green light. A promise. Ji-hoon set Nari down. She ran to the viewport and stared at the stars. Her tail waved slow. Ji-hoon watched her. "You see them now, don't you?" Nari looked back at him. Then she jumped to his shoulder and pressed close. The debt was not paid in gold or ships. It was paid in trust, in shared light. And somewhere far away, healers and tall towers opened new files. Files marked Human Visor, open source. They read, they learned, they began to build. One small act had started a quiet wave. Days passed after the cruisers left. The station returned to its old rhythm. Ships came in for repairs, sparks flew from welders, voices echoed in the halls. But something had changed. People looked at Ji-hoon differently. They nodded more. Some even smiled when they passed him in the corridors. Word had spread quietly. The mechanic who fixed a blind cat had talked to Lyran elders, and they had listened. Ji-hoon did not like the attention. He stayed in his workshop most of the time. He fixed engines, cleaned tools, fed Nari. She followed him everywhere now. Her visor glowed soft blue as she jumped from crate to crate. She chased shadows on the wall. She watched Ji-hoon work with bright interest. Sometimes she sat on his shoulder while he welded. Her tail curled around his neck like a worn scarf. Min-seo came by every day. She brought food, checked Nari's health, teased Ji-hoon about being famous. "You're the cat savior of the galaxy now," she said one afternoon. She leaned against the door with a grin. Ji-hoon wiped grease from his hands. "I'm just the guy who feeds her," he said. Nari mewed and rubbed against his leg. She looked up at him like he was the only thing in the universe that mattered. The small green beacon floated outside the station. It sent a steady pulse. No one bothered it, but everyone knew what it meant. The Lyrans were watching. Not in a scary way, in a protective way. One quiet evening, Ji-hoon sat on the floor with Nari. He had a small holoscreen open. He scrolled through messages that had come in over the last few days. The visor design had spread fast. Humans shared it. Some Xenos too. People were building copies already. Simple ones, better ones. A message from a far station said, "Used your visor on a blind pup. He sees his mother again. Thank you." Another from a Lyran healer. "We have made 10 units with your base. All successful. Our kids smile now." He felt strange. Warm. A little scared. He had not asked for this. Nari climbed into his lap. She pressed her head under his chin. Purring filled the room. "You started all this," he whispered to her, "just by being lost." She looked at him with those cloudy but seeing eyes. Then she licked his cheek once. Soft. Quick. Outside, space stayed dark and endless. Stars burned far away. A week later, something new happened. Sensors pinged. Not big ships this time, small ones. A group of Lyran shuttles. Not warships, just transports. They asked permission to dock. Polite, calm. Ji-hoon met them at the bay. Sura was not there. Instead, a group of younger Lyrans stepped out. They carried boxes and cases, tools, books, small machines. One of them, a female with light gray fur, bowed. "We come as students," she said, "not leaders. We wish to learn from you." Ji-hoon blinked. "Learn what?" "How you make things from nothing. How you do not give up." They set up in an empty corner of the bay. They watched Ji-hoon work, asked questions, took notes. Sometimes they tried to help. Their hands were careful, precise. But they laughed when things went wrong. They learned to laugh at mistakes. Nari played with them. She sat on their tails, batted at their ears. They treated her like family, gentle, kind. Min-seo watched from the side. "They're not here to take. They're here to stay a while." Ji-hoon nodded. "Looks like it." More came over time. Not many, just enough. Lyrans who wanted to study human ways. humans who heard and came to see. The station grew a little busier, not crowded, just alive. One day a big cargo ship arrived. It carried parts, rare metals, medical supplies, a gift from the Lyran Empire. No note, just a manifest that said, "For the workshop that lights the dark." Ji-hoon used the parts. He built better tools, fixed more ships, made a second visor, just in case. Nari helped test it. She chased a new ball across the floor while wearing the old one. Nights were quiet. Ji-hoon often sat by the viewport with Nari on his lap. They looked at stars together. She no longer feared the black. She watched it like a friend. One night Min-seo joined them. She sat on the floor too. "You changed things," she said. "Not just for Nari, for all of us." Ji-hoon shook his head. "I fixed what was broken. That's all." "That's enough," Min-seo said. "Humans get called weak, small. But one small act, one kind act, can reach across stars. You proved it." Nari purred louder. She nuzzled Ji-hoon's hand. He looked at her, at the stars, at the quiet beacon still glowing green. "Maybe," he said, "but I'm still just a mechanic." Min-seo smiled. "The best kind." Months went by. The Lyrans kept coming and going. They shared tech. Humans shared ideas. Old walls between species cracked a little more. Raiders stayed away. The sector felt safer. Ships came in peace. People talked more, laughed more. Ji-hoon stayed the same. He woke early, worked late, fed Nari, fixed what needed fixing. But now when he looked up at the stars, he did not feel alone. He felt connected. To one small gray cat, to a proud people who learned to bend, to a galaxy that sometimes remembered kindness matters most. Nari grew a little bigger. Her fur shone. Her leaps were higher. Her purr never stopped when Ji-hoon was near. One evening, she sat on the workbench. She looked out the viewport, then back at him. Her tail waved slow. Ji-hoon scratched her chin. "You see the whole universe now, don't you?" She mewed once, soft, sure. He smiled. "Good." Outside, the gas giant turned slow. Stars watched in silence. Somewhere far away, healers used the visor design. Lost ones found light again. Tears fell. Smiles grew. All because one human refused to walk past a small life in pain. All because one blind cat trusted a stranger with rough hands and a gentle voice. The galaxy turned on. And in a small repair bay on a forgotten station, a mechanic and his cat kept working. Quiet, steady, together.